Prince was so cool. I've tried for years to make records for him. My first attempt at making a record with him, for him, was Frontin'.
Frontin' was with Prince?
That's crazy.
I'm trying to figure this out.
How far did that go?
He didn't want it.
So he didn't even touch it.
Okay, all right, time out. Did he hear the whole Frontin'?
He heard, I think he heard the melodies. And again, it's been so long. He might have heard the hook and maybe the melodies for the verse or whatever. Because when I finished the verses, no, I think I wrote a different version of it a little bit for him. And he wasn't into it.
That's one of my favorite Pharrell records of all time.
Man, that was me pretending to be him.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. All the stuff you guys are hearing on the first Justified album, that's all the Michael stuff.
Wait, I'm talking about
Justin Timberlake.
Oh, yes, okay, go ahead. Yes.
All but one song. They were all written for Michael.
What era of Michael's is? Remember the Time era?
This is right after Super Thug,
You Rock My World.
Okay.
Right before that.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to Still Slaps channel. I'm Shuby, songwriter, singer, and rapper here repping for Still Slaps. Now today, guys, based on the clip that I just showed you, we are going to be talking about rejection in particular, and being a songwriter, being a producer, and dealing with rejection. Now the clip I just showed you is a video of Pharrell. Shout out to Drink Champs, shout out to Noriega and his squad. I thought this was a really good clip. This is a clip of Pharrell talking about in his early days when the Neptunes, his production team of him and Chad Hugo. If you don't know, do your history on these guys because they absolutely killed it. But they went through a time, Pharrell in particular went through a time where he was inspired to create for his biggest idols. And these idols included the one and only Michael Jackson and Prince, as we saw in the video. Now, what happened in particular when Pharrell got an opportunity to send records that he wrote for Prince and he wrote for Michael Jackson? Well, simply they rejected him. They told him, nah, man, we're not feeling this. We want a particular sound. If you look at that interview from Drink Champs later on, Pharrell, it's kind of funny. Pharrell talks about how Michael Jackson's manager at the time said that Michael was looking for a particular sound. So really, what can we take from this as songwriters and producers, as artists in general? Sometimes you are going to create something that is mirroring your idols down to a T. Pharrell said that Frontin' was him just imitating Prince to the core. And sometimes you're going to create and you're going to be thinking to yourself, wow, this so-and-so would really like this record, so-and-so, this was made for them. But, you know, sometimes it's just not going to be the case. You know, you're going to have to face a negative point in your career, in your process as a songwriter, putting together songs that you think may be a perfect fit for somebody, you know, of a bigger stature, somebody who, you know, may you may think is going to receive the record in a way that's positive. But one of the important things that we have to remember is that even with this rejection, Pharrell and the Neptunes went on to still have the success that they have. Pharrell had mentioned that based off of the records that he gave Justin for Justified, he mentioned that those records went on to be on Justified for Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake is one of my favorite singer-songwriters of all time. I feel heavily about Justin, and I love that album. I love a lot of Justin's work. Say what you want, but we know what the Neptunes were able to do with their production. We know what Justin was able to do with that production on Justified. They took that and they made it their own. Pharrell and Chad Hugo did not let their idols stop their success. based on rejection. Now, we have to learn from that as singers and songwriters that, you know, my music may not be for everyone. My creation, I may make it with thinking of my biggest idols in mind, but it may not be the case that that music may be for them, even if it mirrors their style, even if, you know, sometimes we really have this idea that our biggest idols are going to be looking at our music and are going to receive our music in a way as we receive theirs as fans. But that's just not the case. And you know, whatever it may be, it's not to let us get discouraged. So remember that, guys. Remember what Pharrell said in the video. It is never a stopping point for you to stop creating your art. You don't know what your music is going to do. You don't know what your art is going to do for somebody outside of your idols, because that's who we have to keep in mind when we write our songs, when we write our music, when we go in and produce and think that we may have something great. You always have something great. It is not up to your idols to tell you that you have something great. And we can remember that from Pharrell in this video. Pharrell and Chad Hugo, shout out to them with just recently getting their accolade for the producer award that they got, in the recognition, because it's well deserved. Do your history, guys, if you don't know, but this has been Pharrell talking about rejection and basically how he got over that and still saw success. You guys can do the same thing. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. If you liked the video, please leave a like, please leave a comment, please share. How you feeling about this clip? Do you think Michael Jackson and Prince were wrong to turn him down? Do you think Pharrell was wrong to send that type of music to them, thinking that they were just gonna he was gonna get a pass? Or do you feel that it all worked out as we see in the clip? Thanks again, guys, for tuning in. Once again, I'm Shuby, singer and songwriter. You can check out my links below if you're interested. And if you're on Instagram, hit the follow. If you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe, notifications on. Thank you guys again. Peace.